We bless your name. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Lord, you are my shepherd. I have no need. Oh, yes, you lead Marvelous in my life. I adore. Hallelujah. Father, you're precious. Hallelujah. You're glorious. We sing hallelujah. Father, you're faithful. Glory to your name. Wave your hands to Jesus. Come on. Say to yourself, I shall not die, but I shall live. That's a word for some. And declare the praises of my King. I shall not die, but I shall live, yeah. That sickness will not hold you down. And I'll declare, sing, the praises of my King. Oh, shut up. That same spirit that raised Jesus from the dead. Oh, shut up. That same spirit is working in my body, in my job, in my home, in my business. Christ in me, the hope of glory. Somebody lift your hands to him. Christ in me, he's the fountain of life. Everything that is dead will come to life. Christ in me, streams of healing. Christ in me, joy and happiness, miracles.
amaphupho ethu lebesinawo Nkosi yamakhosi. Siyabonga uNkulunkulu wethu oyingcwele ukuthi wena na ukhona sekuphumelele konke egameni lika Jesu Kristu. Amen.
Thank you for the prayer, my principal. After the prayer, I'm also going to ask my principal again to say something. I should have asked him once he was still here. So may I invite you again to say a few words and welcome our guests.
Thank you once again, Program Director, Mr. Masebo, and a good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen. We are so excited as an institution to be in this launch this evening. As already been alluded to by the Vice Principal, Mr. Masebo, this workshop is an online training workshop for course developers. Emlalatini, as you might all know by now, I guess, is an institution that is offering secondary education. That is our junior up to senior levels secondary. And we are following the same curriculum as in our colleagues in the conventional system, the face-to-face classroom system. And also we will write the same examination and we get the same certificate as provided by a CASWA, that's what in examination council. So we are secondary education based. But then our approach is a bit different. We are an open and distance learning institution, which basically is having the learners separate from the institution, the learners separate from the teacher, from the tutor. And then to bridge that separation in open and distance learning, we then rely on programs that are designed in such a way that they bridge the distance that I've just talked about. So this is a very important activity to us. That is the development of these courses, because that is how we reach our learners, and that is how our learners also reach us. So without wasting much time, ladies and gentlemen, mine is just to welcome you to this launch, to this workshop. We are grateful for the participants who are the main players for this workshop. In open and distance learning, it's a bit awkward, if I may use that word, because the programs that you develop are not only for your learners, because you will notice that almost everybody or many people can access these programs. So they call for a lot of dedication, expertise as we develop them. And I just want to confirm that we do hope that this workshop is going to assist our course developers to develop high quality programs Again, you might also note that open and distance learning has not been getting a very good note from the public. So one way to convince the public it is by producing quality programs, so that they may not doubt the quality of education offered through open and distance learning. So our course developers are really going to help us to attain that. So welcome our participants, and also we are grateful for our partners, SNAT, to have made it to this launch. SNAT is a very important stakeholder in education. In fact, one would even say they are the biggest stakeholder, if I may say, in the stake of education. So, Nabo Siyabonga to have honored us to attend this launch. And also in absentia, our other guests would like to welcome them, because we've been communicating with them towards this launch, and we've been getting a positive response. So that is why we are even now expecting them to arrive at time. So even our guests, we also would like to welcome them. And finally, I would like to also welcome our sponsors, the Commonwealth of Learning. I cannot add much from what the Vice Principal has already said about Commonwealth of Learning. They have helped us, and they are also willing to help us. In fact, what I've noticed lately is that it might seem like they're helping Emlalatini, but it is not. They are helping the nation in its education development. So we like to also welcome our sponsors. And again, Lord's Master, we also would like to welcome them. I note that already you have already been started. We have already started with them. Ladies and gentlemen, and as we said earlier, the 3-day training workshop will be a success. We are not officially opening it because that we are leaving it to our senior principals, but in their absence, we are going to proceed with the program as planned. Thank you, ladies and
Wonderful, wonderful Father, you are excellent in my life. I adore.
Thank you for the speech. My principal, Mr. Mazibuko. On the program, we have a section that deals with the technological advances that have been made by Emlalatini this far. First, I want to inform the House that Emlalatini, like the principal has said, there's a separation between the learner, the providing institution, as well as the student. Now, if the students and the institution are separated in time and in space, then how do you bridge the distance? Because that is the key issue. And every time I'm conducting a training workshop, every time I'm conducting a training workshop, I say to the classroom teachers who are going to be my tutors, I say to them, I respect the fact that you have the content, the masters of the content, but my interest is not that you are masters in the content. I want the content, but my interest is in how you deliver the content. My interest is on how you deliver the content. Why? Because in a classroom situation where there is the teacher and the learner, it is easy to control the teaching and learning. But it is a bit challenging when you have to deal with someone who is very far in every corner of the country and even outside the country. How do you deliver learning materials to learners who are so dispersed? It is then that we rely on technology to bridge the distance. We have seen that during the lockdown, in the COVID-19 pandemic, during the COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen teachers and students being locked down in their homes, in their houses, and no one was allowed to move around. Colleges were closed, schools were closed, and they are still closed. Some students are still at home. Then we've seen the efforts that the Ministry of Education has done. We had TV lessons, we also had radio lessons. At Emlalatini, we did something over and above that because in the SADC region we have countries who have a similar syllabus to ours. So they are using Notesmaster. Notesmaster has a syllabus of or the syllabi of every SADC country. So the closest to us was Malawi, and we were very much happy that our learners could still continue under lockdown and learn. We had to connect all the learners in all the different study centers to Notesmaster, and so we are very much grateful to Notesmaster. And then over and above that, in education, we have to move into the digital space and use technology to speed up the teaching and learning. It is quite challenging that within a short space of time, like now that the schools have reopened, we have to cover the syllabus and prepare the learners for the exam. We don't have enough time. But we've seen that with technology, we can cover the syllabus within a very short space of time and still be able to revise and prepare the learners for the exam. During the lockdown, the Commonwealth of Learning actually sponsored a research, a desktop research. It was an online desktop research where we had to find out exactly how the institution can join the digital space. And that's the reports and recommendations from that research. They gave us an idea of what we are supposed to do. And one of those things that were recommended was training of teachers. So in June, still under lockdown, the institution had a training course for 30 teachers, lecturers, and tutors through online training. It was offered by SAIDE, our other partner in open and distance learning. It was conducted online using Zoom for the whole month. We were preparing the tutors for course writing, developing learning materials for online learning. We concluded the training, and then we went on and trained the tutors now and prepared them for teaching using technology. Now I want us to appreciate some of the advances in presenting lessons or in teaching and learning that we have achieved so far. Let's hope my technicians are going to put up something on the screen. There you are. That is the lesson on business studies for JC. Here we are using a PowerPoint. So we train them on how to use PowerPoint to deliver a lesson. Now the idea here is, in PowerPoint, within a short space of time, you can cover a lot of ground, and you can still align yourself with the pedagogy that is involved in teaching and learning. And then we also went on to look at how now are we going to reach our students who are out there, because the PowerPoint as well when you have your students in front of you. But we went on to train them on how to use Zoom so that they can also deliver lessons remotely. And then we also went on to look at ways of dealing with assignments and marking the assignments and then returning the assignments to the learners. And that part requires a learning management system. We started off with Moodle, and then we had challenges with Moodle because Moodle we have to actually run it ourselves. And therefore, we then partnered again with Notesmaster, and then Notesmaster is going to handle the part of assignments whilst we're still developing the courses for JC. So when we spoke to the teachers and the learners about the new way of teaching and learning, there are challenges, because if you are used to having a teacher in front of you, now you have to interact with your team as well as a teacher. It is a new thing to you, but they are now excited about using technology in education. So the next bit, which is going to come after the training, is that Notesmaster has allowed us that every teacher in the country and every student in the country can have access to Notesmaster, which means that gives us an opportunity to help all the learners who are out there. But that is a huge task that cannot be done by Emlalatini only, hence the training, and also hence the value of having teachers. Now, there is this tiny challenge here. There is this notion that technology is going to displace and replace teachers. I totally disagree. So rest assured, teachers, right, you're not going to lose your jobs when you start using technology. You're not. And why am I so, let me reassure Snatch as well. Once you start using technology, it doesn't mean that you don't need teachers. Why? Because as an institution, we use what is called blended learning. And what is blended learning? Blended learning is the coming together of classroom education and the other extreme, open and distance learning. And then blended learning comes in between. And then what does blended learning do? It brings the good attributes of classroom education and combine them with the good attributes of open and distance learning. So that on its own is governed by frameworks and theories. One of the most fundamental of these theories is the community of inquiry. And what does it state? It states that for effective education, you need three presences. For effective teaching and learning, you need three presences. You need the social presence. That is why, as an institution, we are putting a lot of effort in teaching learners through social media. Why social media? Because the learners are able to interact. They are able to chat to each other, peer-to-peer learning, and they are also able to connect with their teachers. So social presence is important. And then the other presence is cognitive presence. Now, there has to be a constructive way of assimilating knowledge. The learners are able to construct knowledge on their own. So that is the second presence. And then the third and final presence is the teaching presence. The teaching presence, the teaching takes place between learners, between the learner and the teacher, and also between teachers themselves. So then, how can you displace a teacher when for effective teaching and learning, you need a teacher? So the teaching presence is saying that someone must coordinate the teaching and learning. For an example, to prepare this PowerPoints, there has to be a teacher who does that. The learner cannot do that on his or her own. So, like I said earlier on, rest assured, your jobs are not going anywhere because of technology. Instead, technology removes the load, the working load from the teachers. And it gives a huge opportunity for learners to learn independently. And that is critical. And for us, we believe that learning should take place anywhere, anytime, and anyhow. Which means that even if you are on a bus, you are at home, you are hiking, you can still use your phone and learn. And then on a final note, we have this gadget here, the phone. It doesn't matter whether it is a smartphone or what, but we have this gadget. And this gadget, we underutilize it in education, in teaching and learning. When I was training my tutors, I asked them to prepare a lesson using only the gadget, their gadgets, the phones. Why is this necessary? Let's say now you are running late for your class, and then you didn't prepare. Why not prepare while you are still in the bus and use Google Slides, Google Docs, and prepare a lesson? And then when you get to class, you have a projector, then you use PowerPoint and you present your class. You present to your class and you are happy. And then again, this gadget, you use it for social presence. You interact with your learners, either through chat rooms that you create through an LMS learning management system or in the social media. So we are going to have a social presence as an institution. We are going to have a social presence in WhatsApp, in Facebook, Twitter, and all the popular media. So at this juncture, as you have seen, we do follow all the pedagogy that are required when you are teaching and learning, as shown on this slide here. So we are making advances as an institution, and at this point, I would like again to thank my principal for the support he has given us as workers and as lecturers and administration at Emlalatini. And we've also been given a lot of support by the ministry and our funders. And I would like to say thank you very much. So at this point, what we are going to do is we are going to skip the part that was supposed to be Chief Inspector and jump to our facilitator from Northmaster, Dean Dundas. I hope he is connected and he is ready to talk to us. My technicians. Is he ready? So while we are waiting for our connection with Dean, I must mention that the whole day we were having training. He was training us over Zoom, and we are also going to get his speech over Zoom. It's quite interesting that at no point did I ever think that someone can teach me as far as England. And I would talk to Dr. Tony Mays in Canada, and we call that synchronous, when it takes place at the same time. And then that's the beauty of technology. You know that when you're using WhatsApp, you can leave your friend a message and your friend will answer later on. We do same thing in education. We call that synchronous and asynchronous learning. And when do we use synchronous learning? That is when online we have both the teacher and the student. It looks like we're about to connect to Dean. Let me leave it to the technicians now. Yes, that's Dean. I think we need the sound.
We need the sound, okay.
Dean?
All right, I sound can hear this. I can't quite hear you, but I will speak on the assumption that you can hear me. So, good. Yeah, I will go ahead. Good afternoon, good evening, Honourable Minister and other dignitaries, Principal, Vice Principal. This is really exciting for us today to have begun this journey. And it's a privilege to be a part of this transformation. And part of that stems from a thirst and a buzz, if I can put it that way, from the participants. It's always a pleasure in a workshop. It can be difficult to deliver a workshop, I may say that as well, virtually, and specifically trying to see who is keeping up, who is a little bit slow, who needs some extra help, and who is fantastic and has moved ahead. We had a range of activities in today's session, and it was exciting to see that several persons had actually moved far ahead of the agenda and created and are already sharing good quality and exciting and engaging audio. And I think what is often overlooked is that there is a lot of capacity already there. And there just needs to be the right tools to allow those skills to manifest themselves. So in today's session, we had at least 5 participants who really probably didn't need me there, who were able to create content, insert media, arrange their content, and already bring the pedagogy to life with a degree of interactivity and excitement. And this is what we want to deliver from this program. So, through the support of Dr. Mays, we have put together some of these programs in different countries. I think the Vice President did mention the program in Milan. That was a successful program, is a successful program. And it is interesting to highlight to the participants how much of a journey you go on. Because technology is a bit of a journey these days. We are all ODL learners now in some capacity. I'm in the UK, and schools are still closed in certain areas. Some people are a little hesitant about going back to school, so staggered opening times. And there was a great influence of distance learning. It's become more and more, I would say, of a necessity. But it doesn't necessarily mean we're all prepared for it. So even though we are in the UK and everything is brilliant and we have our red buses, a lot of the time, a lot of the children don't have devices, or they have one device between three, and the content may not be there. So it is exciting to embark on this journey with EBC and see there's so much inherent capacity, there's so much understanding of the importance of audio. So in the earlier remarks, I noted that it was said that this is not just helping out EDC, but also helping out all of Eswatini. And that's a big statement, but I think it's true. And I think we need to be big and bold with this. We have engaged teachers. We have the opportunity to train them using not just LoadSmart, but other really good software, other really good freely accessible software that they can use in creating content on another platform or on Word or when they move on. You know, they're becoming skilled in content creation in a way that perhaps surprises them. So the journey I showed today was persons who were a little uncomfortable at the beginning. You know, I had persons, when I said point here, they would literally point there at the screen, and you know, the mouse was too fast and stuff. And at the end of these programs, some of them create such wonderful content, and they practice and they learn, and there is practice involved. It is a skill, and like with any skill, you have to practice. So they have to put in a bit of time, and our role is to support them as they practice and as they put in the time. So we end up with a body of content that is usable at EBC, but also available to everyone in Eswatini. That's the important point. And they can come and repurpose the content. So the first part is we create the content, and the next part is we have to support and manage the community onto the platform or a platform to use the content. That's the important part as well. We cannot just create the content, be happy, think we've done our jobs. We need to make sure we carry everybody with us, those that are good and those that are scared, and those that will tell me they've been teaching longer than I've been alive, and what do I know? So all of those things, we have to move with all of them. So from our side, it's exciting. We are on day 2 tomorrow. We will recap what we learned today. And with the support that Dr. Mays and others have put in place, the content on EDC will be freely available to anyone to access as OER, which will be very nice. So Eswatini will have a pool of OER that can be used and presented on the stage with OER, as this is our OER, so to speak. But they can equally use content from other countries as well. So it's like a sharing. We're sharing our repositories here. This is ours. This has got our stakeholders. These are our people. These are our areas. This is our geography. But you can use it. You can modify it if you wish, and we can use your OER as well. So hopefully, over the next 6 to 10 months, we create something that all members there in the room, I'm sorry I can't be there, obviously, but all members in the room will be proud of, and will obviously have a lasting impact, not just on the community and so forth, but on the individuals, where we can make learning fun. You know, I'm taking the time to come to a platform. It needs to be fun. Otherwise, I spend my time on Facebook or spend my time doing something else. So when we capture the learner's attention, it has to be fun, and they have to be thinking, oh, wow, learning can be fun. I can really enjoy myself. And if we get that, and we get some smiles, I think we would have been a success. You know, if we can make that impact, I think we would have said we would have done a good job. So that's it for me. I will be again online tomorrow. So we will be supporting the participants daily over the next 10 months, and then beyond we will be supporting the wider Eswatini community as we make the materials available to everyone. So thank you. I'm pleased technology worked, because it's always a challenge if you'll hear about a technology program and the technology doesn't work. So thank you to whoever there has put the technology in place. So thanks for your time, and appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just can't keep it to myself.
When I thought
I had done too much.
oh,
He's also a very good facilitator. He has facilitated even earlier on when we were introducing our learners into Notesmaster. He's a very patient man. Thank you, Tim. And now we are going to connect to Canada, to our funder, the Commonwealth of Learning, represented by Dr. Tony Mays. And I hope he is standing by as well. Thank you.
Good morning from Vancouver. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
Honourable Minister, Chief Inspector, Deputy Director of Education, CEO of Notesmaster, Principal of EDC and Deputy Principal, ladies and gentlemen. It is a public holiday here in South Africa, hence I am connecting with you from home on my phone. So anything is possible once you have the right devices and reliable connectivity. The Commonwealth of Learning is delighted that the discussion that we started with you in June last year has come to the point where we are training teachers to develop content. One cannot offer open and distance learning without first starting with the content that we're going to share. One of the nice things about moving into the online space is that we're not limited to using pretty reasons why learners do not access schooling or they drop out of schooling. And one of the problems that we are increasingly encountering is that the curriculum content does not speak to the learner's interests and the learner's needs. What we are increasingly encountering is the online provision and the use of digital resources. We are able to animate the learning process by adding in video, by adding in animations, by making use of videos of science experiments and practical workplace experiences virtually, so that we can make the curriculum speak to the learners. Of course, in addition to the content, we need to think about how we will support the learning process when we are not in face-to-face contact. And I currently have an ongoing course with teachers in the Caribbean, involving 8,800 teachers simultaneously, sharing experiences about how they can support learning without necessarily requiring teachers and learners to be in the same place at the same time. As part of that conversation, we also need to begin to reimagine the way we go about assessment. Because if one thinks about it, it is not necessarily the case that a learner learning at a distance should take all 8 or 10 subjects in one go, study all of them continuously, and write one set of national exams a year later. We're more likely to have more success if learners can take one course at a time and sign it off. And so the journey that we are starting today with content development is not a journey that will finish when the workshop ends. It will not finish in 10 months' time when all the content has been developed, because then we'll have to think about how we roll out the model, how we can learn from the rollout of the model about what works and what does not work, and how we can improve so that ultimately we can reach all learners and all learners can be successful with maximum retention, maximum throughput, and maximum progression into further education and training, into employment or into university study. So the Commonwealth of Learning is very excited that in just over the space of a year we've got to this point. We wish the participants who are busy with their current engagement with Notesmaster Good luck in the 10 months ahead as they begin to develop multimedia content. And we look forward to working with you and walking alongside you as you get from phase 1 content development into phase 2 piloting, and hopefully into phase 3, where it becomes a system-wide engagement. One of the very delightful things about having a digitized curriculum is that you can easily add new subjects and update content instantaneously, overnight. Everybody can have access to new curriculum resources. And so I think, as has happened in other countries in which we work, having an online open schooling platform can service not only the distant learners who have not been able to access contact-based learning in the past, but also support those learners who are in contact learning, but who are in danger of dropping out because the curriculum doesn't speak to them. And also support and enrich the experience of day scholars with more varied curriculum content. And in all the countries that have an open school, that have had school lockdowns due to COVID-19, in all of those countries, they've been able to use the resources and the expertise of the open schooling to support and enrich remote learning. So I think we're on an exciting journey in Eswatini, and Col is very happy to continue to support the process, and we wish you all the very best for the week and the months and the years ahead. Thank you very much indeed.
At this juncture, we are hopeful that now we have to wind up this part. I'm going to ask the principal sikhombisa ngenze ngithi atoloja ngizatosikhombisa inangana yethu iwebsite nelogo yethu sathemba ukuthi labadzala abasadahlonipha bende sesitawuqhubeka umsebenzi ngale ngoba sekufuthi sihambe ngala
Sibonge from the two speeches. They were very exciting. Now we know current learners as a study centers. Study centers, these are the ones that we have. Our plan is to continue opening more study centers because that helps the learners cut a lot of costs in travel. Our subjects are a bit limited, but due to these developments, we are able even to develop and offer courses that we didn't have some time back. Our study centers, we have coordinators who are responsible for the study center, and those coordinators help us to recruit part-time tutors who tutor in these study centers. As you can see, most of them are in high schools because we want to use infrastructure that is already there, and some are not in high schools. You can even we have one at Ilovo Training Center, for example, and at Emlalatini there is that Emlalatini Elim Free Gospel institution, but most of them are in high schools. So siyakhulekela high schools that they do assist us. Just to mention one, at Emlalatini High, they hosted us, and also they have provided us with a dedicated office for the study center. So that is exciting partnership. Emlalatini Center for Open Schooling. Open Schooling is just a name for institutions like EDC. And this is our new logo. We're a Center for Open Schooling. Kwamanje, in future, so developers and open schooling. And that is our logo. There is that individual having a module. In ODN, we don't have books, we have modules. We call them modules because they are interactive. They are not just like a straight cut textbook, they are interactive. And another key thing there is that we are saying since 1973, you'll recall that the history dates back to that time when it started as a Danish project, mainly for South African students who were on transit, helping them continue. And what Kulega until government took over with the present Emlalatini. And we are social, so that we open up, or rather we close up the distance we talked about. So that is our new logo. Yes. I just wanted to say our old logo, if you know our old logo was having Emlalatini Lichelokulola. And then this new logo is continuing with that, but it is taking it further. It's is taking it further, not just Ulota, but we start from fresh. Because EDC has been known maybe for a long time as an upgrading, and now we have developed into not only upgrading, but ungaqalela phansi with your JC and with your EGCSE up until you finish. Siyabonga, that is our new logo. We hope it will inspire us as an institution to more higher heights we would like to reach with your help and partnership. Thank you.
The heavens declare your great and mighty power.
Very much, Brother Mazubuko. And there you have it. Now you know our logo and our new logo, and you also have been introduced to our website. And I have people working behind the scenes, and I would like to thank my technicians for a job well done. Please give them a round of applause. What you see there is they are actually also streaming live on YouTube as well as Facebook, which is the first for Emlalatini Development Center. And you've heard for yourself from the principal, from Dean Dunas, and also from Dr. Tony Mays that we have a very beautiful partnership which we wish to take further, other than between Emlalatini and them, but to the entire education system where learners and teachers can actually access Notes Master. And with technology, almost anything is possible. So at this point, we are not going to close the occasion per se, but I would ask you to give Emlalatini a huge round of applause. Thank you very much. And also, I would like to say it wouldn't have been possible without the support of the principal. You know, when you are working under your boss, you bring up ideas. The boss has the right to say, but my principal has been very supportive. When we come up with ideas to him, he would listen, and we wouldn't be where we are if he didn't give us his support. Please give him a round of applause as well. And again, I would like to thank the principals in the schools who have allowed all the teachers who are here with us today. And I'm getting feedback that some of them are doing a wonderful job, and the principals as well as the students are very happy with what they are bringing, the changes that they are bringing after receiving training from Emlalatini. And with the group that is here, we are also coming a long way with them. What we do is, once we start nurturing with you, we take you along with us, because we invest a lot in you, and we don't like to lose our tutors. So we carry them along with us, and every time there is training, we empower them. So I hope that we are also going to develop a very strong relationship with the National Association of Teachers, and hence they are here, because that is where we tap our tutors. So it is a pleasure that we have them here with us. So we are done with this part, and thank you very much. I'm starving. Now, may I invite the principal and his guests and everyone to join us. I don't know what they call the restaurant, but I have my ushers. They will lead you to the restaurant, and finally, we are going to eat. I can't wait. Thank you so much.
to the King, the Lamb upon the throne. We lift holy hands. We lift holy hands in worship, and we give you the praise. We give you all the praise. Alpha and Omega, Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, beginning and the end. And so we sing, I give you all the glory, I give you all the honor, all the worship, I give you all the worship. You deserve the praise. I give you all the glory, adoration to your name. Whoa. You deserve it all. You deserve it all. You deserve. Sing it one more time. I give you the glory. I give you all the honor. Yeah. Give you all the worship. Whoa, whoa. You deserve the praise. Hey, I give you all the glory, adoration to your name. You deserve it all. You deserve it all. Everybody say, hallelujah. Raise your voice and sing it. Hallelujah. Woo. Hallelujah. You deserve it all. You deserve it all. You deserve it all. Raise your voice and sing it. Hallelujah to the King of Kings. Hallelujah to the Lord of Lords. We worship you, Lord. We praise you. You deserve all the worship, Lord. You deserve all the praises, Lord. From the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, your name we praise. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Hey, you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. I give you all the glory. I give you all the honor. I give you all the worship. You deserve the praise. I give you all the glory, adoration to your name, Lord. You deserve it all. You deserve it all, yeah. Oh Lord, yeah. Ora casa te que le bonzo protéger les mains. Father, we give you all the praise, all the glory, all the worship belong to you. Our Father, we worship you, Lord. Barikoso kapata la mania. With our hands lifted up, we glorify your name. Oh, rakiston jelemande. Hallelujah.